Welcome back. Thanks for coming again to see another test taking tip. I'm Gwen Betwee, and I love talking about CISSP, CCSP, and CISM. Apparently, I've been doing this for about 20 years. I have learned a thing or two about test taking tips, about how to get through these exams, so I have another test taking tip for you. This one, if you happen to know Sesame Street, the children's show, comes straight from them. And the test taking tip is which one of these is not like the other. Now, this is absolutely one of my most favorite questions. It's also one of the worst I've ever seen. My business partner wrote it, and I gotta give him credit for it. It's a doozy. But now remember, when looking at these questions, it isn't about the question. It isn't about the knowledge of the question that I'm after in these videos. The point here is the test taking tip. How do you get through questions like this? So, here we go. A corporation has experienced aggressive growth in recent years, in part due to the launch of an e-commerce business. This growth has caused a strain on the corporation's ability to effectively manage the digital identities of users. This growth has caused a strain on the corporation's ability to effectively manage the digital identity of users. Which of the following is not considered a negative result of lack of digital identity management? You should ponder that for a moment or two. Pause me if you need to. That is not a double negative. It's not a negative. It's not a double negative. It's a triple negative. So if two negatives make a positive, it's one of the most absurd questions. Which of the following is not negative lack? Not negative lack. What the thing are we talking about? Dog's moving over there. So here's the test taking tip. When you cannot figure out what the question's asking you, and if you have on this one while I'm talking, congratulations. It's not about the question. It's the test taking tip. When you find a question during the exam, it's highly likely it'll happen to you, that you don't understand, here's a way to possibly get through it. Look at the answers. In the answers, the question is, which one of these is not like the others? So A, loss of user productivity. That's about the users. That's about the people. It's about the humans. It's about people not being able to get their work done because, their dogs are over there moving around. B, increased network single points of failure. Network. All right, we're talking about the network. We've got some kind of single point. Maybe we need redundancy or something like that. C, users maintaining access to projects longer than they are. Users maintaining access to projects they are no longer working on. Easy for me to say. So we're back to users having access, talking about the projects that they're working on. Kind of like A. A was a lack of productivity. C, we're talking about the users having too much access. Happens all the time, doesn't it? D, increased time spent in identity deployment and provisioning. Now, who does the identity deployment and provisioning? And we're back to people. We're talking about the administrators. And the administrators spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to identify each of the humans, how to give them email addresses, how to format the email addresses, how to set up the access control. Should we set up excuse me. There's so many different pieces to it. That's a lot of work for the people. Now, they're not users. It's not usually the word we apply to them, but they're administrators. But if we looked at them across the business, they're people. They're users. They're users of the network. Their job happens to be setting up access control. A is about people. C is about people. D is about people. B is about the network. Go back to the question. Which of the following is not considered a negative result of lack of digital identity management? So forget the triple negatives. We're talking about digital identity management. Digital identity, that's talking about users. We've got not highlighted in big capital letters there. The one that's not about users is B. It's about the network. There you go. There's your answer. What's the question asking? Don't know. Don't care. Now, in the end, I do care about the content. I do care about knowledge about this. It is something to explore. It is something to learn about, but not for the test taking tip. So there you go. Test taking tip number 3. Question is, which one of these is not like the others? So just remember, it's not about the content of the questions in these test taking tips. And the more you know, I think the better off you are during these tests. So keep studying, keep learning. Come back for another test taking tip in the next video. See you then.